Hi guys, in this video tutorial uh, we learn how the school board project was built. And you can go to the github.com slash dragonnomada slash school um, hyphen board. Well, you can download the source code or clone in your computer, and we um, follow the kickstart and the documentation to make and inspect this project. Well, uh, if you clone the project or download the code, you can find your project in your desktop or something. The school board project is here, and this is the docs and the source code and something. Uh, well, you can open into the Visual Code the source project, but uh, before you open the source code and inspect the code, uh, you can see the diagram into Architector Pro. This is Architector Pro. You can install by the binaries, and well, you can wait for the styling. This is a preview tool. uh, yet is in development. Okay, this is Architecture Pro. You can install by double click. You can select the school board project and open in the main folder. You can select the project and check the editor. The editor consists in interface, user interfaces, and transitions. This is a user interface. You can add more user interface or remove it. And the transition is a connect between two user interfaces. You can connect uh, by the arrow and set some action, for example sign in, and the condition, I don't know, user login success, I don't know, what is your condition for the transition. This is the action sign in, and this is the condition uh, to this UE, for example login, go to the other page, for example home. If you resize the box, you can embed other UE, and this UE is a child for the home user interface. Okay, you can pick up and remove all the interfaces. Okay, this is the project. The project consists in login user interface, student board interface, and a school board interface. This school board interface shows the user comments and something. Details show the comment from the school board comment, and student board allow view the school board and add comments. The transition follow the login. The login has an action sign in with new comment or sign in from the student. If the sign in fail, go to the login again, and the student board has a school board as a child, and this user interface connect to the login if the student wants to enter to the student board, and another transition login with a new comment, add a comment without session for sure, and if the login presents the the interface with login form and the second action with a new comment if the school board add a comment, login with a comment, and without comment only a student login to sign in to the student board. If the school board add a comment with session, if the student has a session, go to the student board again to publish the comment, and the action publish the comment has a default channel, default condition to go to the student board again, and if you want to see the details of some comment, you can go to details, and if you go from the student, go back to the student board. If not, you close details and go again to the school board. Well, if you open the project in the in the Visual Code, you can see the pages, school board, login, details, and school board and student board. This source is generated by clicking generate sources, and you can make these files, pages, API, actions, all the action listened in each user interface. For example, in login, the action sign in, the action build school board, and in the pages you can see the views, login, details, school board, and each view, each user interface has 4 files: index, use action, use info, use session, from JavaScript. Well, if you open your project, you can see in the index the default page for the login. We use Tailwind CSS to fix the styling of the project with flex flex styles and colors, text colors, and some. Uh, well, you can see the React component is exported from React, and you can define states and HTML components And this is, for example, a title, Saki title, a school board title, and an input. This input is to capture, to retain the username state. We bind the value for the state current username writing, typing, and on change, the event on change the input, you can set the new value for the username state. Set new username to event target value, and the password is similar input, uh, but you can see the type attribute, a password, and the placeholder password, and some classes to fix the style. In the bottom you can see the result error. If you has an result but of the transition has an error, you can display this span with the error text. If you has a comment in the transition, you can see the comment with some label saying to publish your comment. And this is the button to sign in, and the action sign in. This action is get from the use action file. This use action file register the sign in action and expose it. You can see two actions to the common action uh, hook, React hook, into the Architector React hooks. Uh, this custom hook can can register some view in some action. This code is automatically generated by the editor in the generate sources. You can see if you define some transition action, some action between two interfaces, you can list these actions and its conditions here and in the API here. Okay, you can you need to avoid edit this code, because when you generate again, this code is replaced. Okay, in the login you can get the sign in action, and this sign in action is a function that receives as a main parameter the data, the input data sent uh, will send to the API. If you want to send the username, the password, and the comment, you can send this object, and React the React function will be transformed to the JSON file or JSON format and send it to the API. Okay, and this is a second action, view school board. This second action, view school board, getting from the use action hook. You can call when your button is clicking. You can call the view school board function. Okay, if you want to run this project, we set the login component as the main component, you need to open the terminal by clicking Control J, and you can say npm rule dep in this school board src source project, and this is the result. You can see the localhost link and open in your browser, and you can see the login component. Okay, it's processing. This is the login. The styling is loading. Okay, this is my network. When you repeat the action, okay, these styles are loaded. You you can go to the school board or type some user and password. This is the list of user and password: Lisa Simpson, John Doe, Marco Polo. You can enter with some user, for example Marco Polo, enter to the student board, and this is the student board when the API determine the view login and the action sign-in. Okay, this is the result. Students board, welcome Marco Polo. This is the sign out. This is the picture for the user, and this is the comment, other comment, other comment. If you want add comment, click here, and if you want sign in, click here. If you want see the details for some comment, you can click in some comment and view the details. In the go back, the API automatically determines if the user has a session or not, and go back to the previous page. Sorry for my internet, is very slowly. Well, this is another comment. You can see the result and go again to the student board. If you want to view a school board without any session, you can go to the school board directly for the login, and you can see the same school board component, but you don't see the students boards options. Okay, if you want add a comment, you write your comment. For example, this is amazing, and click in the prompt, and you go again to the login, because when you don't have any session, you go to login and enter again to publish the comment. Okay, Lisa Simpson, enter student board, and automatically see this modal: do you publish this comment? This is amazing. Now the bees, yes, publish. If you don't want to publish the comment with this user, dismiss. If you add again some comment, you can put this is my school, and the comment in the logic. When you add a comment with with session, go to student board again. Uh, this is the transition to student board again, and you can publish now the comment without login again. Just publish, you publish your comment. This is the action, publish comment in the default condition, and you can go again to student board, and the result is a new comment is here. You can see the details and go back. This is like a to-do list, uh, more complex obviously, but it's a small project that shows embed user interface, go to other views and logic to go with session and without session. If you build this project from scratch, you need to follow the tutorials. This is the main tutorial, the video, but you need to kickstart into the project to run the project and see the results, uh, play with the project. And if you don't know React or Next or Architector Pro, you need to follow the introduction to React to understand what is React JS and what is a component, its properties, and so. Okay, you can see this is React. You can see you export a main function with some parameters, properties, and return some view. You can use the components into other components, and JSX is a HTML, XML tag system inside your JavaScript code, and you can define a JavaScript variable with some uh, JSX code. Okay, this is an injected text and something. Uh, this is the function. The function returns some view. You can return other component or use predefined HTML tags. For example, a div, inner, a title, and the properties, you can pass properties to the other components, string property, number properties, data complex properties, boolean properties, boolean false properties, and callbacks. For example, on my event, I pass this arrow function, and you can get this function into your component. Title, person, price is visible. All these properties are passed to the component, and this is a function. For example, you can determine when call the function, when use this data, and this is the main React hooks. Use state, use effect, use reducer, use context, and the syntax. For example, if you want a state, you can define the value, and the function sets the value, and you can set new use state with the initial value, creates a pair value set value state. In the effect, you can call a callback function with dependencies changed, and where some dependency is updated, you can call the and the reducer is more complex. It's an state and dispatch action reducer. The reducer is an old state and action result to produce the new state. And the context is provide context and is very very complex, uh, but not the other world. Uh, Custom hooks uh, let um, let to play with other hooks and return some pretty interface. For example, this is an state, for example, a counter, the value, and you can set a value and functions uh, to allow the programmers uh, set the counter easily by uh, without expose your state. You can make the condition after set a value or something. Reset a value has initial value, set decrement, set the value minus the amount, and this is the result. You can use your custom hook and get the object, this object, as the programming interface. And if you want the value, only you say counter.value, and if you want to increment the value, counter.increment, and set amount or default is 1, and counter decrement call set a value decrement. If you play with this code, you can follow the link, edit on code sandbox, and this is the result: increment, decrement, reset, decrement, negative, reset. And it's very easily you define a use convention and the name of your hook, the other hooks, and the logic. Uh, this uh, this allow don't repeat yourself, right? Don't repeat yourself the logic. Only if you want a counter, only you can say, hey, uh, where is my use counter hook? Get me the new counter and get a value, increment, decrement, reset, and so. Okay, these tutorials allow to understand how works, uh, for example, React, Next, and Architector Pro. In Next, you can see the structure, node modules, pages, API, your API controller, your page controller, your index, main view, another files. These files is optional, app 44, HTTP error, the package.json exposes the dependencies, and this is the, the tutorial. Install Node, see your hello world, verify your Node version, npm version, npx version, create a project folder in your computer, and create the package.json, and create, install Next and React, React DOM, and make some page, for example, index.js with hello world. Press Ctrl C to stop the server, and npx next step to run the server, and this is the results. Okay, This is an API example. Define your API controller request and response parameter. Request is an object can access to HTTP request and response HTTP response. Basically headers input and data come and response headers output and data outcome. For example, you can make the result from this API, some message and response with this result. You export this API and it's all. If you go to the API test, you can see your result and you can go to the next yes docs to learn in depth. Okay. Well, if you don't understand how works Architector Pro, you can see, you can model in the editor your diagrams and select a folder, generate your source, and open in Visual Code, install the dependencies, and run your project to see the results. What next? Uh, you can follow the next board tutorial to make from scratch the project, this school board project, define the, the logic and see the tailwind classes and make each component, and you can see notes to uh, to learn in depth how works each part of the code. This is an introduction, and if you need uh, some help, you can contact us. Uh, Here uh, is the project leaders, and I am Alan Padillo, the main developer. You can send me an email to explain me what happening with your problems. Okay, see please how works school board in project architecture to understand the files, the connection between each file, and the process of the transitions. Okay, see you.